Today's part of our Business Spotlight program. I'm with Birgitta Hedin-Curtin. She's CEO and owner of the Burren Smokehouse, and they're based in Lisdoonvarna and County Clare. So over to you, Birgitta. What is it you do, and for how long have you been doing it?
So we started 35 years ago, myself and my husband, and what we have is actually we started as a food tourism business.
Hmm.
I suppose we're downwaters from the cliffs of Moher, which means even though like 1989 when we started, we were in the middle of nowhere. It took 5 hours to get to Dublin, but we had the advantage of also an advantage of being in the middle of nowhere, but associated with like 8 kilometers away from uh, the absolute biggest tourist attraction in
Hmm.
Ireland, which is the Cliffs of Moher, and in the Burren area. So we do food tourism. We produce a an artisan smoked salmon, and we salmon, mackerel, trout, eel. We've always used 100% Irish produce, and that's part of our branding. So we produce that. We also showcase how we produce it, and we do also wholesale. We sell on the internet. Started with our website, a static website in 1996. Now we have a multi-language website, so we sell online. And as I said, we do some wholesale to food service, the likes of Ashford Castle, Marion Hotel, Hotel Doolin, and other places near us, as well as the retail element would be towards like Evoca, Donnybrook Fair, McCambridge's, and a limited amount to Dunn's. So that's kind of, we do also corporate gifts. We see ourselves as a food gifting company, and that's being reflected in our website where we also do story sell, but we also sell experiences.
Okay.
So we have a website specifically for selling online. It's
Mhm.
fairly recent. We've always sold to um, tour operators, but we also now sell directly to consumers, B2C website for selling experiences. Um, so that is part of that food tourism element.
Yeah.
As well as then, like our Burn Smokehouse has a retail shop where you can buy our products and you can buy other products from the area. So that's
Yeah, well, it's a very comprehensive sort of expansion from the start back in '89.
yeah.
Okay, and you've been growing since then, as you say, you'd be 20 to 30 people at the high peak periods. Um, what do you attribute your growth to?
Well, I suppose it's our brand identity. So artisan, highest quality Irish smoked Irish organic salmon.
Hmm.
So I qualify this like Irish smoked Irish organic salmon. That means that it's smoked in Ireland and the produce are from Ireland. So we've always used 100% Irish produce because we wanted to give a flavor and a taste for people to pass through this amazing area called the Burren, Cliffs of Moher, Clare, Ireland. And we wanted to give a flavor and a taste and texture of local produce. And that was our mission from day one. And we didn't build the smokehouse to be a wholesale facility or churning out lots of. We wanted to give opportunity to taste the very best and care for it. And also, I suppose, in, as well as the product, also the quality standards that we have and the customer service have always been extremely important to us.
Fantastic. Yeah, customer, absolutely. Yeah. And if you had to start from square one in business, what would you do differently?
Well, I would probably take even more time out and measure what we're doing and to use utilize more of my creativity and that kind of maybe having the work-life balance
Yeah.
better. I mean, you start with this incredible energy of, your belief system of that's how we started. And it really like we're going to succeed and, you know, but as it was, we didn't only start our company, we got married, started our company, built our house, had the family. So there was a lot of things going on in our lives, and we were quite young. But it was a it's a lovely thing, but
Mhm.
um, maybe I should have taken more another, I started to become a marine biologist, and
Mhm.
which is part of it has its essence as well through that goes through our company. And maybe I should have taken a couple of years in the IMI Institute or whatever. But you know, yeah, no, I'm happy enough with
Yeah.
where we are. We one way or the other, you're going to have to go through experiences that you learn a lot from. There's
Yeah.
no such a thing. Well, maybe there is such a thing that, it's all going to go perfectly to plan.
Yeah.
But and so I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot through the business.
Yeah, well, it's a fair comment. Yeah, I mean, I like the phrase, you either win or you learn, so
And you have to, I think that actually embracing mistakes,
mhm,
I think it's a really good thing because the learnings of that
mhm,
it's not more than you can read things and you can logically think about things, but when it's your gut, and your blood, sweat, and tears, you learn in a different way, and you're not going to forget your learnings as easily, or you might make mistakes over and over again. But and I think it's quite important psychologically to embrace mistakes.
mhm.
You know,
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. We learn a lot more from them than we do from our successes.
from yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And just on that sort of theme, what have been your biggest learnings as an employer since you began in business?
Well, one of the things that to really trust my gut instinct when I didn't, I could have, if I had listened to my instinct and acted on it
Mhm.
sooner, I could have maybe prevented some of the hard learned lessons.
Okay.
And that's kind of people skin. Well, you kind of feel, no. Or actually, when you put your head, your logic over your instinct, that can be the most dangerous bit. Because, yeah, that makes sense, but there's something telling me that
It's not
it
right.
doesn't make sense. It's not right. I
Mhm.
shouldn't act like this, but I follow my logic,
Mhm.
and that, yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah, again another saying we've got a million of them, I suppose. But if there's any doubt, there's no doubt. And,
yeah, yeah,
and again, hire slow and fire fast, I think is the other one.
yeah, exactly, totally,
Good, not the other way around.
yeah.
Um, well, we touched a bit on it. Yeah, yeah. How do you balance your personal life with the demands of running a business?
Well, I suppose I'm getting better at it, and it's about taking breaks and time out
Good.
to get to have that reflective time.
Hmm.
And now, having said that, my family's always been number one,
Okay.
and I would have taken done some Swedish, and in Sweden the first year of a child's life, and you're talking about the 80s and 90s when there
Hmm.
was no really childcare facilities here
Hmm.
for a working mother. But I would have like the first years wholly breastfeeding is the thing you do. So I always made sure that that was the platform
Very good.
for my children and for me in the first year for health benefit and whatever. And I think that that first year is very holy in a child's development.
Hmm.
And but then I think that the balance is also that kind of understanding, which is not always a female thing, or maybe personality wise, whatever, that thing of delegating and yeah, delegation that I'm learning more of. But spending time in nature,
Hmm.
in like I grew up on a farm, self-sufficient farm. I live in an area where nature is just around us and doing the Sunday walks and physical exercise and that eating well, that really it's a platform for thinking well and for creativity. So, that I think that and out walking there, or if I do, taking time to do yoga in the morning for 20 minutes has become something that the last, since COVID, I suppose, it started in COVID, but that is so important for me. And I try to balance myself to have time for myself and also time when I'm not thinking and not thinking about the business, which can be difficult.
Yes, yes, yeah. You tend, if you're awake, you tend to be thinking about it. Yeah, and God knows, maybe dreaming about it as well.
Of course.
Yeah. Um, so going back to the employees, what qualities do you look for in employees, and how do you foster a positive and productive work environment?
Well, again, I grew up in Sweden,
Mhm.
very kind of in a time when, Olof Palme, Social Democrats, so democracy is very important to me. I was fostered through school, particularly, and
Mhm.
at home, but also through school. But that kind of fairness. But what look for is team spirit.
Okay.
That's hugely important for me. We're here and also actually operating quite flat-based.
Mhm.
Um, you, we all need each other.
Right.
I need the people that sweep the floor, and sometimes I sweep the floor, and nothing is too, you know, there's nothing that, you have to respect all aspect of the business. You might pay people differently,
Mhm.
and also I suppose, yeah. But anyway, but so that team spirit, honesty, good work ethic, that would be,
Yeah. That comes up a lot. Yeah.
mm,
The work ethic as well. Yeah. Which is, yeah, okay, fantastic. And I suppose just to round it off, what are some common misconceptions about running a business, and how do you address them?
well, I suppose one thing is that it's easy to do business. Um, Also the misconception of that you're always making huge profit. And I think actually that I share a certain amount of knowledge with my team,
Hmm.
of maybe not exactly numbers, but how things are going,
Hmm.
that because yeah, it's quite important to get the misconception of that we're, rolling in it when we're not.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I went to a restaurant in Dublin recently, and even they're doing very well. And I was talking to the chef who we supply, and he was saying, we're breaking even, but we're paying ourselves.
Mm,
Like so, it's like on the one hand, it's that thing we should make a profit, but we're not.
right.
But we are paying ourselves. So, that's a value, and you can make a decision like that. And again, I think that, this particular place is extremely well run. Irish staff, they're well, whatever. Um, Not only nice, well speaking English staff,
Hmm.
and very customer focused. And you can see how management that they're actually, I think they're probably paying people fairly well, you
Hmm.
know, and maybe at the cost of profits, but that's better to have a break-even situation where, and I'm sure the owners do pay themselves well, but still, of course you need the profit, but at least to say that, and that is within an environment of um, an environment where the particularly challenging times for food service, you know.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
things like that can be an acceptable situation.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, Brigitte, it's been great talking to you today. There's some great insights there for our viewers. Really appreciate you taking the time out from a busy schedule and your planning. And thanks again for being on our podcast.
Thank you, Kevin, for getting the opportunity to be interviewed.